All right, I'm recording right quick. I don't want to be super long, but um, I came to an observation, and maybe for those that are new, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost anything. I'm not like most YouTubers that have fancy intros and a lot of music going and trying to get sponsored and trying to monetize my videos and all that. Um, so what you see is what you kind of get. Uh, the changes will come slowly where I will make the video better, but I'm not here to make money off of my YouTube channel. Like most people that make YouTube videos are trying to do. They're trying to make money off there, so they look for sponsorship and everything else. But with all that being said, definitely write some comments, subscribe, share the video if you like the content and so forth. That all helps the channel grow. So with that being said, I want to make an observation. You probably noticed this too. And this is about DAW. And I'm going to say, I think, personally, honestly, I think if you are an avid Cakewalk user like me, I've been a long-term Cakewalk user because it's what I got started with in the 90s. So I'm just used to Cakewalk and how Cakewalk works. But this video is probably not as important to people that use DAWs like Pro Tools. If you're an Ableton Live user, Reason user, FL Studio, Studio One, Reaper, any other DAW out there, and you really can care less about using Cakewalk. Now, for those that are Mac users, most people have been using Studio One, Pro Tools, Logic Pro, and then of course Luna came on the scene not too long. It's been on the scene for a few years, but it's still a fairly newer DAW. Well, they just launched a free version for Windows. Perfect timing because Windows announced that they will no longer be free. You would go back to being Sonar and you would have to pay for Sonar. Now, for a lot of DAW users that have been had just got started using Cakewalk, the free version, talking about Cakewalk by BandLab, because it used to be by Gibson and Roland, and when it was actual Cakewalk, its own company and so forth, when they were Sonar Professional back in the day. But when they became free, like anything else, once you start doing stuff for free, it's hard to get people to pay for it. It's kind of like with music. Music, you had to buy music, CDs, cassettes, vinyls. Then once people start getting it for free, people just aren't used to paying for music. Not on the scale that it used to be. People still pay for music, but not on the extent that it used to be, where you had to buy now a CD, a single or an album, a cassette, a CD, a vinyl, and you had to pay $9.90 or $10.99 or whatever it cost. So this is what I see. This is perfect marketing. It's a perfect way to draw people from one DAW to another, because Cakewalk is a professional DAW. It's not like Audacity, which is a DAW, but it's not Audacity doesn't have nowhere near all the features that you would get in an actual pro level DAW like Cakewalk / Studio One / Pro Tools of that level, because Cakewalk is a DAW of that level, but they just made it free. And the issue is when Cakewalk, there's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna jump ship from the Cakewalk once it will no longer be supported and it will no longer be free. It's kind of like, well, Luna, which is offering a lot of pro level features, I haven't got a chance to really work around Luna yet. I did download it since it's free. You know, that doesn't cost anything but hard drive space, right? So I download and I'm testing how to work around the DAW. The ease of use, because Cakewalk is, I'm so used to Cakewalk to start up a session. I can upload Cakewalk and do a few things that I need to do, and I'm ready to record and everything else. I'm trying to learn my way around Luna to see if it's that easy as well. So far, Luna is still a learning process, like I had to learn everything about Cakewalk. Luna is a learning process, but that's with any DAW. You know, it's like FL Studio. If you don't understand how FL Studio works, it's a learning process until you understand how it sequences and patterns, and how to use the plugins and all the software. The same thing with Reason, the same thing with Harrison Mixbus, Mixcraft 9, Ableton Live, Pro Tools, Studio One, and all the other DAWs out there. You have to learn it. Now, Studio One, I think most people that got into Studio One, if you get into Studio One, once you understand Studio One, it's really super easy to get started, because half of Studio One is dragging, you just drag stuff and it's there, boom. That's what's the brilliance of Studio One. But let me focus back on Luna. So to wrap up what I'm seeing, this is smart for Luna to move in, because people say, well, Luna is free. So people are going to jump. It's a smart way to jump into a UAD product. Because then you'll start buying UAD, because they have, you'll start buying into their platform, meaning start buying their plugins. So it's brilliant. Versus the other DAWs, they usually often have free versions, but they're very limited. Like Ableton Live Lite or Studio One. They have a free version. Pro Tools had their free version. It used to be Pro Tools first, and it just goes on and on and on. Reason or Reaper had a free version, but they made it so cheap. It was just better just to spend $60 and get the full-fledged DAW. Harrison Mixbus had just Harrison Mixbus, the send-down version, or you pay the $300 to get the full working Harrison 32 console, which I have the 32. I want, for me, I want the whole, I forgot about Cubase, because I do have Cubase elements on here as well, but there's a lot of DAWs, a lot. So I want to get your thoughts for those that are using the free. If you're a Cakewalk free user or a Cakewalk user, and have you tried to download the Luna and try it out, since it's free for PC. It was free on Mac, but now that it's for Windows, if you're a Windows PC user and you got Luna and you're trying it out, what are your thoughts? If you were Cakewalk, would you move into Luna and just drop Cakewalk altogether now that you have to start paying for Cakewalk? Or are you gonna, whatever the price is to keep Cakewalk going? I'll end on this note. I think one of the biggest things that killed a lot of Pro Tools users was when Pro Tools just got overly greedy. Subscriptions and all this extra stuff. If you didn't pay the extra stuff they wanted you lost support. Your DAW would stop working. All this other stuff. The iLot, was not switched. It's a whole bunch of stuff that made a lot of Pro Tools users mad. The only people that really didn't care was like commercial studios that were, had paid clients. So they would pay all the extra stuff because they had Pro Tools in their systems, and they were used to using that for clients coming to their commercial studios. So they didn't care about paying the extra, whatever. I think Pro Tools moved back to where you can buy the complete DAW for like $500 or $600 or whatever, and you didn't have to worry about this, whatever the case. I just don't keep up with Pro Tools very much. But like I said, I have been a Cakewalk user for years, so I was used to paying for Cakewalk when it was Sonar. It was just I just been I paid for Sonar Professional, but when it came free, it did. I was like, okay, that's free, but I was used to paying for Cakewalk. Luna is free, and like I said, I'm trying it out. If it becomes really good, I got a friend of mine that tried it out, and he says it's really good. I want to hear people's thoughts on the Luna, and or do you think eventually Luna will become paid once they draw that in? And will they? What do you think? Do you think Luna is just going to be free for now until you buy into the UAD system? A lot of these companies, they're slick with their marketing. Like I said, if you use other DAWs like Ableton Live or FL Studio or Reason or Reaper or Harrison Mixbus or Mixcraft 9 and the 25,000 other DAWs out there, Logic Pro or whatever, you probably really don't care so much about worrying what's going on between Cakewalk not being free anymore and Luna being free. It's kind of like if I'm a Logic Pro user, then you probably, I'm not really going to be too worried about Luna being free and how Luna can affect. I think honestly, with Luna being free, and if it's a really, really good DAW, I think a lot of Cakewalk users will probably switch over if they just don't want to pay for a DAW. Now, the DAWs, every DAW has its advantage. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I should be messing with Cubase a lot more. But the DAWs I think worth paying for, looking at Reaper, because of the way the Reaper themes. Studio One because the ease of use in Studio One. Like I said, I was gonna like Cakewalk, whether you pay for it or it's free or whatever. Cakewalk, as it is now by BandLab, is a really good DAW. I'm messing with Luna. Not really big on the Ableton Live. I really like Reason. I like the stuff that you can do in Reason. I think Mixcraft 9 and FL Studios share a lot of common tools for people that record in the FL Studio or Mixcraft that way. Never really got into the Pro Tools because of how Pro Tools, whatever the case. And other DAWs out there, Logic Pro, and so forth. But other than that, just want to hear your thoughts on, do you think it's smart that Luna's making it free to draw into a UAD product? Your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great one.